huge portion of the internet has been discovered to be comprised of AI-generated slop, endlessly recycling already published articles by re-uploading them over and over again, whilst other AI scrapes that data and then rehashes it, as the cycle repeats itself like an infinite digital Ouroboros. As it turns out, a study conducted by Amazon Web Services AI Lab discovered this has been exacerbated because AI is used to translate low-quality spammy content into other languages, and the results have been awful. Tons of this slop is generated with the sole purpose of bringing in ad revenue, and so it's mostly poorly translated listicles and basic online clickbait that is written in English and then gets retranslated so many times the end result is unintelligible for readers of another language. The authors of the study found evidence of a selection bias in the type of content which is translated into many languages, consistent with low-quality English content being translated en masse into many lower resource languages via machine translation. Keep in mind that this paper is yet to be peer-reviewed, but the results are pretty damning to say the least. This has happened, of course, due to the introduction and ramping up of artificial intelligence over the past couple of years. Whilst it has made leaps and bounds in terms of the ability to create pieces resembling human work, it cannot yet innovate on its own. It can only scrape what already exists and coalesce it into trashy work. This means that, by scraping the internet, people can use AI to copy and paste already existing news articles to direct traffic to their sites and thus earn ad revenue. Plus, AI bots can be employed to comment on content and thus increase engagement, pushing the algorithm to believe rehashed crap is actually worth engaging with, thus boosting even more traffic. Unfortunately, the internet has gotten to the stage where AI will see other generated trash and take that as well, meaning articles that have been rewritten, often with factual errors or differences in tone, are being treated as legit and just keep on spreading. It's similar to the manner in which chatbots are unleashed upon the world and trained via social media, only to become extremely rude because they are swamped with the worst of what the internet has to offer. Or the way in which House of Illuminati created the Glasgow Wonka experience via AI, with gibberish-generated scripts. It probably seemed like a good idea to get a machine to do all the difficult work of organizing an event, but then the world quickly found out what happens when the crucial human element is removed. The entire thing became a subpar shitshow, the physical embodiment of what happens when AI is used to scrape the internet and give a rehashed rendition of the articles that sit inside it, which turn out severely lacking. It's already gotten to the point where this is replacing physical media too. You can already buy AI-generated books, which have become a scourge in the online book market, as scammers are imitating already existing works and selling them off as their own with an inferior product. We explored a related issue a little while ago, as many people think AI-generated images on Facebook are real when the accounts repeat the same style over and over again, and it's either bots or actual humans who comment "Amen" 1,000 times. It is getting to the point where social media content is absolutely swamped by AI, and it feels very much like the end will be an internet dominated by programs instead of humans. This plays into the idea of the dead internet theory. The dead internet theory is a popular conspiracy theory stemming from various Chan boards, and it's the idea that everything online has been replaced by bots, and that the internet is effectively being ruled by artificial intelligence. Of course, being from sites like 4chan, there's also a second part to the theory, that the US government is responsible for the situation and is using AI to effectively rule the world. The creators of the theory claim that the internet actually died in 2016 or 2017, and that machines are the only beings anyone actually interacts with. But to keep this video concise, I think it's best if we just focus on the aspects that are easier to explore and won't take us into a deep and dark schizo-posting rabbit hole. It's worth noting this dead internet theory started in the late 2010s, so before AI genuinely became as big as it is today, but also at a point where chatbots and spam were commonplace. How many times have you gone to a YouTube or Twitter comments section, for example, and seen just 1,000 posts, all very obviously unrelated to the content on screen? It's frustrating being surrounded by fake accounts. Or one might relate the dead internet theory to the NPC meme that also blew up in the late 2010s, with the idea that all other human beings are just NPCs whilst only a few are real people with real emotions, thoughts, and feelings. To this day, NPC is still used as an insult because of this meme, and it's easy to see how it might cross over the idea that AI is running the world online. The dead internet theory also seems to stem from a general dissatisfaction with the fact that whilst the internet is more populated than ever, it also seems smaller than ever, as there are only a few large social media websites that people tend to inhabit. All of these sites have been fending off similar issues when it comes to bots and spam for years, and the introduction of tools like ChatGPT have only made this worse. Furthering this idea is that AI influencers are becoming more common, perhaps accelerating a future where robots are responsible for driving the creator economy instead of people. That being said, there is still a human at the other side driving these machines in terms of finding the right brand deals and management practices, but I suppose there is always the possibility that this will not be the case. Perhaps one day we will all be alone in our online conversations, talking to ones and zeros instead of interacting with humans, maybe even fooled by clever AI-generated video constructed to look as if a person exists on the other side of a camera when instead it is just data. Exploration Sci demonstrated how this could work with a fake Zoom call generated by AI, but at the end of the day, the human intent was still needed to make it all work. This ties into an incident where a financial worker ended up giving away $25 million to hackers who used AI to deepfake a call with a chief finance officer, which is insane as the scam actually achieved success. That being said, despite its advantages, many argue that AI is nowhere near advanced enough to produce work with the proper context to make it 100% better than the work of a human being. At this stage, as has been made clear by events like the Willy Wonka experience, there still needs to be a distinctly intelligent and labor-intensive touch making sure everything is running smoothly, and that goes for viral videos and posts too. After all, whilst AI-generated content has gone viral, the vast majority of it seems to have done so only because it is AI-generated, not because what it made is particularly insightful or interesting. So it would seem the dead internet theory isn't quite true yet, but it may get to the stage where AI creates other AI to complete AI tasks. To prevent this from happening, big tech platforms seem invested in ensuring their social media babies are being protected against bots. Industry massives such as Microsoft, Meta, Google, Amazon, X, OpenAI, and TikTok have all signed an agreement to fight inevitable AI election interference. Although how exactly they're going to do that hasn't been strictly defined, except for mentions of watermarking or metadata embedding. At this stage, it seems to be a bit of an arms race, as AI tools are being used to fight more AI, and yet any social media user might still say it feels as if no dent has been made in the onslaught of bots and spam. Maybe in the short term, social media may welcome an increase in engagement thanks to these robots, as if the billions of active users on social media are actually real people. But long term, it'll be much harder to sell data to advertisers if that data ends up yielding no purchases. And so there eventually will be a financial incentive to improve the user experience and remove those annoying spammers. It cannot be denied that amongst very real interactions between very real people, the internet is certainly at a place where it is populated by massive levels of AI slime, as evidenced by the Amazon Web Services study covering the huge swathes of badly translated articles scraped and uploaded by machines. The realization that roughly half the internet is just machine slop is quite shocking, and whilst it is a cautionary tale on how social media can be turned into even more of a hellhole, it is not quite evident of the idea that the entire internet died in 2016 or 2017 and has been taken over by the US government, although with the way things are going, the dead internet theory may just come true. See you next time on Lessons in Internet Culture.